Give me your hand, do not be afraid. I promise I'll stand by you all the way. Here is my shoulder, if you need a friend, I'll be your anchor on whom you can depend. With Mona Lisa.
Weddings, celebration of love, those lavish and expensive events. Today, marriage is a different ballgame altogether. Oh, trust me, it is. What happens next is dependent on the man and the woman. It is very important that the couple involved know their roles in the marriages. If not, the disaster will be epic. Now, that leads us to the topic of the day, which is breadwinning wives. What really happens behind closed doors when the woman is the breadwinner of the family? When we come back, this remains You and I.
How are you?
To this beautiful segment of You and I with Mona Lisa. Well, we just finished watching a short film. Yeah.
Thank you.
Today we'll be treating a woman as a breadwinner. And of course, we know you've been married for a while.
But I'm not a woman.
But yeah, you have to stand in for your wife now.
Oh, really?
And for the rest of the viewers out there who truly loves you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so here's the question. How would you feel if all of a sudden your whole finances crumble and in your elements, you find yourself at the mercy of your wife? Wow.
That's an interesting question. But going back to all the years that I've known my wife, she's been a partner and she's been a hard worker. In my particular case, if everything should crumble, the one thing that I'm certain about is that my wife would be there. And that gives me comfort. She would cover the gap, she would hold, she's a professional, and she will be able to move forward. From a male perspective, no man wants to sit down and not do anything. So it's about managing the gap. Now, if I sat down and decided that because my wife is working, I'm not going to do anything and I'll just sit at home, I don't think I'll be able to do that.
No, but that's in your own opinion. There are lots of men out there who just sit back and become house husbands.
Really?
Yes, I mean, these days, yes, that's just basically the trend.
And they actually prefer that?
Some men, not just because they are poor or they do not have what it takes to look after a woman. They rather, it's just a comfort zone. They're probably lazy. They rather depend on the woman.
I don't think the woman would like that.
No, but well, some women manage. But after a while, it sinks in deep into. I mean, she becomes very uncomfortable. It begins to threaten their marriages.
And it would. It would. Because, so there are two things we're talking about now. There's a situation where the man, by circumstance or whatever, right, it's not working. Maybe he loses his job and the woman is working and holding on. Now, most women are willing to do that for a period of time. Whereas from the man's perspective, the minute you go and sit back and say that you're not going to work, you're going to be a house husband, and the woman now becomes not just the sole breadwinner, but she's the one taking care of everything and doing everything while you sit back, I don't think it's right. I think the man, somebody said something to me once, and I found it true for most women, that women don't mind working, but they want to have the choice as to when to quit. A man, on the other hand, doesn't have that choice. A man wants to work and work to provide for the home.
Okay, but having said this, do you also agree that there are lots, at least not lots of marriages, let's give it like statistic, 30% of marriages, not reducing the women, have made the women become the breadwinner?
I know.
Now, I want to ask you this question. Was this God's intention from the onset?
Absolutely not. I firmly believe on my end, like I said, first my wife to work.
Yeah.
And I think it's just to keep her also busy, to get her engaged, for her to do things.
Yes.
But I believe 100% that it's my role to ensure that I provide. I provide for the home, I provide for her, I provide for the children. So that's my belief. I believe that a woman blossoms when she knows that she's taken care of. A woman blossoms when she knows that you will cover her needs.
I need you to, reach out to your viewers at this point in time, to throw a light on the men out there who sit at home or who probably must have been doing well, after a while, things just, because of the economic downturn, things just happen to just crumble.
Okay. And that's that.
So,
okay.
yes.
And the truth of the matter is that I know people like that. I know people whose wives are earning more than they, and they are not earning at all.
Are they comfortable?
Okay? So there are two types of people. There are those who know that by the circumstance that they have, they will not earn more than their wives because their wives are ahead. I've seen resentment and I've seen trouble. I've seen problems in the home caused by this. And I think it's, first of all, the men are not comfortable in themselves.
They can't be.
So,
on the other hand,
you have those who like to do that.
I'm telling you, sir.
Kick them out.
Kick them out?
Yes. For me, as a man, it's a very, very worrying scenario. And every time I have to go, either give a keynote speech or I'm invited to a graduation ceremony and I see this, I wonder that what exactly is going on. So men have gone into that phase where they have been comfortable for a long time and women have been pushing the boundaries. So what you're actually seeing is a trend that says that a lot of women are coming out in the on top. They're coming out in front.
Women on top.
That is a worrying trend.
Yes.
And why is it worrying? Because it's, you asked a question earlier on, it's kind of reversing what the, women, please don't be upset, but it seems to be reversing what the natural order is, whereby the men are meant to be out there doing the toiling, doing the working and all of that, and providing for the home. But you're finding that the women are now coming out to do all of that.
Is that posing a threat
unfortunately,
to the society at large and to the marriages?
I think it's changing the way that men and women have to relate. So if you stick with the old, ways, right, then you would find that there is a threat to it. But if you begin to look at the balance of things and saying that these women are now contributing a much larger part of their earnings into the home, and they're also contributing a much larger part to the country's development, then you know it's something that is necessary.
Great, wonderful. Thank you so much, sir.
Good day, sir.
Hi, how are you?
My name is Chineye Amadi.
Your name is?
Chineye.
Chineye, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. My question is, what effect would this problem have on the children in the house? How would it affect their thinking?
Which one of them? Which
Both
problem
the male
now?
and female children.
If the woman is the breadwinner?
Woman is the breadwinner.
That's a very deep question and a very good one. I think for one, if we take some of the answers prior, if you have wife battering, it affects the children very badly. If you have a woman that is saucy, it affects the children very badly. But children sense things. You don't need to speak. And they would always sense response. They would always sense love. They will sense caring. And they will know if the mother is helping the father during this difficult time. They will know it's a difficult period. And they're okay with difficult periods depending on how the relationship is between both. If that relationship is showing all the negative effects of having the breadwinner being the woman, and she's either saucy or he's abusive or he's grumbling or he's angry and he's taking it out on them, they will sense it, and that's a negative place to be. You don't want to be there. So it's important that you remember the children when this is going on. I think, and I honestly believe this, when we talk about breadwinners, a lot of times what you're thinking about is money. And that's not really what this should be about. It's whether the man and the woman, if they are doing exactly what God has called them to be. Now, you can be doing something as a man, and you're expressing yourself in your calling, and that calling is not a money-making calling. Okay. But you are happy, you are content, you know that you are doing everything right, and you're in that place. For example, you can be a counselor. You might be someone who counsels, and it's not about the money, but every time you help, you know that you are fulfilled. While the woman is a multi-million-dollar CEO, and that's what she does, and that's where her comfort is, and you both understand yourself. That way you know that it's not about how much money is coming in, but that you're both content in your calling. And it's what it's about. That's where the understanding should be. I think where a lot of people miss all of this is that breadwinner is deemed to be that whoever is the man in the house must earn more. And I think that's where this whole thing goes wrong. It has nothing to do with money. but everything to do with whether you're in your calling or not.
We will be back after this short break. Keep it locked here.